hey, Sean, I don't know when or if I will post this. I don't know in what sort of space I will be in when and if I post this. But my podcast, if you're unfamiliar, is a place that I muse thoughts, that I sort of wax about things that I'm beginning to consider, things that I don't fully understand yet, things that I'm beginning to form an opinion about. And I'd say like the podcast anymore is like half episodes about that at a very infrequent pace, and half like live streams of panic attacks that I have. It's a weird, tremendous, terrifying, terrific podcast. But a lot of the things that I do in there, I say these are like YouTube rough drafts. It's when I'm first starting to have an idea and I haven't yet really thought it out and put it in a spot where I get it as concise and really as thoughtful as I like before I put it on my YouTube channel. Because very few people listen to my podcast, and the people that do tend to be very understanding, very open-minded, very forgiving. I get a lot of positive messages from the people who take that time. And I find that YouTube is a much less forgiving place, and people quick to offer judgments and rude comments and things like that. And so while I've talked about anxiety and things on this channel before, I'm hesitant to do so because there is sometimes a great void from love here that makes me hesitant. And I realize that it's not fair nor authentic of me to holster this. This is a big part of being a creator, being a father, all the other things that I talk about, being a person, being involved in the things that I'm involved with. And everyone processes things differently, and I process things in my way, and a big part of that ends up being anxiety. And I've told my story on the channel before, and I have my Jimmy John's order tattooed on my arm because that's my safety food. And when I feel anxiety, I can't eat. That's how it affects me, is my appetite disappears. And over time, I've learned about myself, and I've processed different things. And on the podcast, I realized in the past 2 years that a huge factor to my anxiety attacks or episodes, whatever you'd like to call it, a big layer of that has been dehydration, where once I start to feel a little sick, I stop all input, all food, all water, all everything. And then turns out if you don't drink water all day, you feel a certain way. And I felt that certain way. And so over the past couple of years, I've really forced myself, sometimes in the face of extreme discomfort, to continue to drink water. And it sounds like a very simple thing, but it's agonizing for me at times. And even knowing that I'll feel better after I drink water, even knowing that, it's still a huge challenge. And for me, I've dealt with anxiety really as long as I can remember, but I can't remember that far back. But I can go back to fourth grade, fifth grade. There were times when I had my first sort of huge bouts with anxiety, and then in sixth grade I started seeing a counselor. I was very fortunate that my parents recognized that that would be something beneficial for me and helped me get those resources. And I've had this journey of anxiety, and I've had sort of milestones along the way of different things that have made a huge difference. Most recently, how much dehydration plays a role in amplifying my symptoms. But there was also, in 2013, I had a huge breakthrough, and it changed the course of my anxiety. But that was when I decided to talk about it. And I posted some, I was on Facebook at the time, and I posted something on Facebook that's like, look, I've got anxiety, and I don't like to eat when I'm feeling it. And when people ask, are you okay? Oh, you should eat something. And like, only makes it worse. And anyone telling you like, oh, well, just relax, only makes it worse. And by opening up about that and coming forward with my perspective, people were very supportive in those comments on Facebook about what it's like for them, and people who feel very similar things or very different. Sometimes people can't stop eating when they feel anxiety, and everyone has their own journey with it. And I've, over the next 9 years, from 2013 till now, I've been very fortunate that I've got a great partner that I can talk to. I've got very understanding friends and family that I can talk to about when I'm feeling anxious. And sometimes, actually, usually, I can't pinpoint what it is and therefore address it and confront it and overcome it. It's a generalized thing that evolves to being just a fear of itself, where I'm currently, hopefully, on the tail end of this more, like this is now a 9-day, 10-day bout that I've had of anxiety where every day I just wake up afraid that I'm gonna feel anxious, and there's no way to snap out of that. It's an impossible thing for me to do at this point, to flip a switch and try to overcome that. And so because of that, these days have lacked confidence and composure for me. They've lacked food and proper nutrition some of the days, and I'm forcing myself to eat just because I know I need to. And that's a step forward, a huge step forward from where I was 10, 15 years ago when I was in college and I just didn't eat for a week. Not a good way to go about it. And I'm not sitting here saying this is, if you're feeling something, this is what you should do. But I just wanted to come back and say that it's been quiet here and there's been a lot going on, as there has been for everybody. I'm not unique. I don't have any unique set of pressures right now. But the way that I process things often includes some anxiety, and usually for the majority of the past year, I have been great, save for a random afternoon or evening where I'm fully recovered before I go to bed. This is the first time in 3 years since my son was born that I've had several days of feeling this lack of control, lack of composure, the feeling this anxiety where I have no appetite and I know that I need to eat and it's getting in the way of things that I need to do and I can't concentrate. And with my career being what it is, I'm trying to edit a few projects right now, and it's really difficult to sort of get in a creative mindset because I'm just focused on breathing, and I shake a little bit because I don't know, I don't have enough food in me and things like that. And so I make this video just to say this is a part of my life, and I'm not asking for help or support. I'm not offering advice for if you're feeling anything like this. I know some things that have worked for me. We're talking to professionals about it and opening up to my friends eventually about it, because I stumbled upon this line when I made my video about my Jimmy John's tattoo. But the worst part of my anxiety is trying to pretend like I don't have it. And that was huge for me, of realizing that. And once I started to let go and sort of put it on other people, like I'd get together with other people, I'm like, look, I'm having a bout of anxiety right now. I'm not going to eat lunch today. Everyone that I've ever said that to that is worth spending my time with has been like, okay. There's no like, why? What's wrong? Oh, well, you should, like, once I'm open, if I say like I'm not hungry, then people will be like, well, why not? You should, oh, you got to try this though. But like, once I say, no, it's anxiety related and I'm just not going to eat right now, everyone has been understanding of that. And again, I'm not telling you that that's what you should do. I'm telling you this is what helped me. And at this point, as much as I've talked about ways that I've overcome it in the past and ways that I continue to deal with it, I am still on day 9 or 10 of not feeling like myself and not being 100%. And I just wanted to put that out there, because my channel is a place where I try to be authentic and forthcoming. And I think you could look at my channel and think that I've got things together and I understand business and I'm giving advice on how to run your company and how to work cameras and I've got everything figured out. I don't. And when I don't have things figured out and when I realize it, sometimes that starts to impact me in some pretty serious and physical ways. And so if you got stuff going on that's similar, I encourage you I'm not going to tell you what to do about it, but at least listen to yourself. And if it's something that's holding you back in any way, find some resources, talk to some people, have some help out there. There may be a day where I post a video like this and I enable comments, but on this one, I'm going to disable them because that's stuff that I don't want to worry about, even if it is largely messages of support or sympathy or empathy or compassion. That's lovely, and I'm glad that you feel that. But there's also just the tiny bit of doubt in my head from knowing that there are people out there who'd be like, quit whining. You don't have real problems. Quit whining. And you may feel that same narrative in your own head. And I don't have as many problems as a lot of people have. And I think if I were to try to stifle my feelings or like white knuckle my way through anxiety, I would be doing a disservice to myself and my family, versus giving myself the time and space to try to understand what I'm experiencing and try to find ways to process it in a healthy way. And And that's what I encourage you to do if it's something that you feel like has an impact on you and the people around you. That's all I got. If you watched this, thanks for watching. Yeah, I hope you feel good today, and I hope I do too. That's all I got. See you later. Bye.